Cheers, guys. Epix 911, welcome to the Wednesday, June 7th, 2017 edition of VR News. Some breaking stories today on the gaming and the hardware front. We're going to get into that. In fact, we'll get into the gaming one right now. It concerns Bethesda. And I'm going to say up front, guys, this is pure speculation. We don't know if it's true, but we'll report the story. Now, viewer of the channel, Kilraha, mentioned this to me yesterday. I had done much IKEA assembly. I missed the gist of what he was saying. Apologies, Kilraha. I could have talked about this yesterday. But with that said, let's get into it now. Apparently, and this according to a inside Bethesda employee, he's got some leak information, right? Or she. And here's what he had to say. If you want to read the full posting on what is exactly leaked, have a look at the link in the description below. I'm just going to get into the summary of what was leaked. All right. Starting with, and this one kind of mind-blowing to me because I'm a huge Bethesda fan, that the games, the different IPs within the Bethesda universe are in fact in the same universe, right? But not in the way you'd think. Like, for example, we think of Fallout 4 VR, it's that post-apocalyptic game, right? In relation to our Earth, it was like a 1950s Earth that experienced a nuclear winter. According to the leaker who goes by the name of Bethesda Leaks, he says chronologically that game represents the past of the Bethesda universe. And a new game, which we've heard nothing about anywhere, called Starfield, which is a science fiction open world RPG, represents the present. And the Bethesda Elder Scrolls series of games, right, from Arena, Daggerfall, Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, all represent the future, which is really cool. You wouldn't think chronologically that would all work or how it works. Hopefully, if it's true, we get to find out. But a couple of neat things there. Apparently, that Starfield is not only being worked on, but will have VR capability, which is awesome. The other gem from this, that Skyrim VR, not only in the works, almost ready and has been in the works for a while, but no word from Bethesda, again, according to the leak individual, because they don't want to steal the thunder from Fallout 4. Now, most Bethesda fans like myself, we're crossover fans, right? I will happily play a Bethesda open world, post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, fantasy, cyberpunk, I don't care. It's Bethesda, I'll play it. But there are people with a budget, right? Who might say, you know what? Skyrim VR is going to be released. I'm going to wait on Fallout 4. And obviously they want to maximize sales given the effort, right? Or moved copies given the effort. So we still don't know all the pricing or how that's all going to work. All right. What else do we have? So we've got the chronological order. We've got Starfield. We've got a potential in Skyrim VR. According to the leaker, this is going to be mentioned at E3. The new game, a closer to firm date for Fallout 4 VR, but likely still no mention of Skyrim VR for the reasons I mentioned. So interesting. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on that story. All right, moving along, let's talk about another game, Arizona Sunshine, getting PlayStation 4 Pro benefits. We anticipated these, we just didn't know exactly what the benefits were going to be. I'm going to read them and probably what we would have guessed, right? So we're going to get improved multi-sample anti-aliasing, improved and longer draw distance, right? So the fogging is going to be way further out. Higher LOD bias and higher render scales in general. So basically, better, further, more sums it up. So obviously the version I'm going to be playing it on, and I would imagine anybody with a PlayStation 4 Pro that's going to buy the game, that's going to be the platform of choice. All right, let's talk about the other story breaking. This has to do with the HTC Deluxe audio strap. So this thing, and we'll talk about how it's doing sale-wise right after this, but apparently an issue with the foam used on these things, that it's coming off. Now, we still don't know how widespread this is. Is it every unit? Is it a quality issue impacting only some units? I'd love to hear from you guys. If you have such a unit, and you're experiencing the issue or you aren't, I'd love to hear from you. If you are experiencing it, let us know if it's something you think they could easily remedy or would require you to RMA the entire thing. I'd love to hear from you. Now, let's talk about the sales. The strap, as to be expected, pretty much sold out in a lot of territories. North America, EU, apparently completely sold out. Australia, New Zealand, Asia, parts of Africa still have units, but EU and North America, they're gone. They expect to have more stock within 4 weeks, but no firm dates given. All right, next up, Oculus donating 100 PCs and VR headsets to California libraries. Now, I have got a big old soft spot for libraries. It's where I first, got into my love of books, and sadly, libraries, not really something I visit anymore, and that's the case with a lot of people, right? But they still serve a purpose. For a lot of people in Canada who don't have the economic means to maybe have a computer in their household, can go to libraries, free libraries, book a time slot, and do internet stuff for a couple of hours, right? Which is awesome. As a kid, it was a place I was able to play Dungeons & Dragons at, even at the height of the anti-D&D hysteria. Me and Exity able to set up a campaign, regularly meet with people in the room, which was awesome. So good on Oculus for that donation. Very cool. Next and last story, the PlayPlad. These names, eh? Holy crap, guys. Come on now. A new Gear VR controller. Now, what sets this thing apart is it's basically a gamepad designed with a smartphone size dimension look. The reason is, the idea is you use it as a Bluetooth gamepad while you're playing. You've got the Gear VR on your head. Then when you're done, you take your phone out and you put their PlayPlad where you had the phone a couple of seconds ago. So it's designed specifically to be inserted onto the Gear VR so you can then store it with that. Now, there are still quite a few gamepad-friendly games on the Gear VR, even with the controller launch. So if you don't have a controller yet and you're looking at a gamepad one, normally I'd recommend the Steel series. If you're somebody who wants to, have things neatly stored, maybe one to consider. All right, guys, that is it for the news on this Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a good hump day. We are rounding the bend for the next weekend. Guys, as always, cheers.